Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Get started in just a second. So I'm going to invite up our guests. Mr. Zander, good morning. Good morning, Kevin. Welcome.
Thank you. Good morning.
Morning,
What's up,
Kevin.
everybody listening below? Wax Wolf, seeing you. Derek, Carly, Consumer Break, man. Get on up here. All right. Got the door locked so nobody breaks in on me while we're doing our space. We'll get started in just a second here.
You want me to call SWAT for you?
No, thank you. I think I'll be okay. I don't think SWAT needs to worry about people breaking into my computer room. Right? Okay. All right. So we're all set. Let me retweet. We're live, and then we'll go ahead and get into this.
And we're recording, right?
Yep, we are recording.
Great.
All right. Xander, you ready? Should we kick this off?
Yes, sir. Let's
So
go.
I'll do in my best impersonation of the famous Warrior Lion Gaming. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. It is Wednesday, December 6th, and you know what that means? It's time for Wax Wednesday. So today should prove to be an interesting space. We've got two big topics today I want to chat about. So first up, we'll host Mr. Kevin Rose. He's the Chief Marketing Officer at Coco. They've come today to share some big news all about the recent lore changes taking place within the Alien Worlds metaverse. And after their interview, we'll be inviting MaxiLab Advent Calendar Specialist Xander and Breakman to be joining us up on stage, and we'll be chatting about the Wax Holidays Advent Calendar put together by the illustrious Maxi themselves. Maxi is traveling this week and was not able to join us in person, and we hope you're having safe travels out there, Maxi. And then at the end, toward the end of our space, after the interviews, we'll open the stage to projects that are participating in the Advent, if they're doing drops or giveaways. So you can share a little bit about the what, when, and where of the drops, and a little bit about your project or games. So Xander, once again, thank you for joining me and helping co-host. How are you, sir?
All right. Thank you very much, Tommy. I was excited for this space and to find out more about Alien World's lore and talk about the Advent calendar because it's been going every year now. So yeah, it's exciting. I can't wait to find out more from Consumer Break as well.
Well, I'm looking forward to picking brains a little bit here as well. This is going to be a pretty fun space. We're getting ready to, as we're getting ready to like really dig into the end of the holidays here. The last month of 2023 is upon us. All right, so let's dive right into this. First, let me introduce our guest. So Kevin Rose, welcome. Is here the Chief Marketing Officer at Coco. With 5 years experience working directly in Web3, Kevin looks to unite gamers everywhere with the inclusive potential of blockchain and true digital asset ownership. So Kevin, welcome to our space today.
Thanks for having me. And it's fun being full circle like this. So in those 5 years, which feels like a lifetime, there's human years, there's dog years, and then there's like blockchain years, right? When the Wax blockchain was first announced, I was leading a block producer that was the first EOS block producer to announce its candidacy for the Wax blockchain way back in 2018 or 2019. So formally with EOS New York, and then that sort of catapulted me into all sorts of different consensus models of layer ones and worked in DeFi. I've worked in DAO governance, was a number one block producer on EOS, and really have found a passion for gaming because at the end of the day, when all the dust settles, I think that gaming is going to be, besides Bitcoin, is going to be the clear winner as far as a use case goes for blockchain technology. And so I'm really happy to have found my way to Alien Worlds, where we could recently launch this tokenized lore concept, which is taking off in our community.
Yeah, games for me as well is going to be the main driver, at least for my own personal journey with blockchain. I didn't get in on investing or coins or anything like that, but as soon as games started becoming something more mainstream, that was something where I started to really dial in and start paying way more attention to all the different games that were available. So let's kick this off. Let's go right to the meat of this. Who is collaborating? This is big news. So if everyone else, if you've been under a rock as far as Alien World concerned, or in a black hole, there's some great news that broke a couple weeks ago. So can you share who is now collaborating with the Alien Worlds team about all the things that are coming out for lore?
Yeah, and after that we can back up because I want to talk about how kind of this all came about too. But if you like Dune, and Dune is probably my favorite book of all time. So Frank Herbert's son, Brian, has been collaborating with an extremely prolific sci-fi author with over 25 million books in print. His name is Kevin J. Anderson. And we partnered with him almost a year ago to start to architect the foundation of an original sci-fi franchise. And so Kevin has written Young Jedi Academy. He has written for Superman, Star Trek, X-Files, his own original works, and Dune. So Star Wars and Dune, being huge. So this guy is a professional world builder. He's exceedingly good at it. And I think I'm a consumer of sci-fi media. It's my favorite thing to read and watch and play. So I think that what we've created is the foundation for a really awesome world, a metaverse to get lost in, to build stories around, and games, and basically just transmedia opportunities. So we've been working with Kevin, and now starting this week, actually it was a couple weeks ago, where we proposed this new lore and this partnership to the in-game DAOs, the Planetary Syndicates. We just started releasing teasers of the lore, the new alien races, the technologies, the cultures, the world building, just a few days ago. And so we will be ultimately proposing a lot of what we release to the decentralized governance that will reign supreme over this sci-fi franchise, the canon. So we're really excited to be working with Kevin and have some interesting collaborations with other comic book artists, story writers, media creators in the wings as well.
Yeah, that's definitely, Kevin J. Anderson is a name that I recognize as well, because most of the reading I do is going to be sci-fi. I think the first work of theirs I read was actually Shadow of the Xel'Naga, which he wrote with his, I believe his wife, or his co-writing partner, someone, but is under a pen name, so I didn't even realize it was the same author until I did a little bit more research. That was one of the first opening StarCraft books that came out in the early 2000s. So not only that, obviously everyone has heard of Star Wars, and Dune is possibly the best. I don't know. It's probably possibly the best book that's been written sci-fi. I could talk about this for hours, but definitely a fan of Dune here.
Yeah, and he actually just released another Dune prequel with Brian. And yeah, I mean, I've met his wife, and she, in her own right, is an extremely accomplished author. They're just legends. They're legendary world builders. And so it was fantastic to get on a call with him like once a week, every other week, and just sit and say, with a blank canvas, what do we create? And actually, it wasn't entirely break. Well, actually, let's back up for a second. So the whole concept is called tokenized lore, and it's the idea that a token and a DAO can govern a canon. And so, if you're unfamiliar with the word, canon is like what is a designation for all the official works of like a fictional world. So like, what is canon for Star Wars? Well, it's anything that Disney and LucasArts puts out. That's what canon is. And if you rewind, when Star Wars was sold to Disney, the Star Wars community was up in arms in the fact that what used to be considered canon was about to be thrown out. They had no control over it. The corporate overlords were going to say the stories that you fell in love with and the characters that may have resonated with you are not dead. They're not alive. They don't exist anymore. We don't respect them. They're gone. And that kind of thing is part of the genesis of this entire idea, is that fans and creators and the people that are passionate about this are really the owners that breathe life into mega business franchises that sort of run Hollywood today. And yet they're sort of cast aside as people decide what to do on their behalf. No more. So what we worked with Kevin on was, how can we create a world without necessarily creating named characters or a specific story? Let's start with the background, the universe behind Luke Skywalker, rather than Luke Skywalker himself. And then once we have these rules, we have a community of creators who've already been creating their own lore that can start to populate this universe with their own characters, with their own stories, and that manifests as video games and comic books and animation, and you name it. And at the center of this is the Trillium token governing what is canon. And what is canon is the only thing that can be commercialized, right? Like the actual intellectual property. Now we're getting into where blockchain sort of rubber meets the road with the real world. And it's a fascinating experiment. And so we're really excited to work with the community to say, here is that world, and you can build it. So for us, the metaverse becomes the evolution of the fictional universe. Imagine if Star Wars had a token, and that token governed what was canon. Insert whatever it is your favorite franchise is. If it's Marvel, if it's DC, it doesn't matter. If it's Harry Potter, it doesn't matter. That enables all the positive things about decentralized governance to take over. We can become contributors from any corner of the globe. And we can also occupy this same space where you're a contributor, you're also an owner, you're also a consumer. And that's kind of what Web3 is doing, right? Is blending these traditional models into something new that is self-sustaining, this hyperstructure, so to speak. And then, at the end of the day, just to simplify it, if you love sci-fi, this is the place for you to create. And you can get paid doing it too. We actually have Galactic Hubs, our grant program, will, in the beginning of next year, be putting out grant opportunities for people to simply create stories in this world. And you can get paid to do that. It's really exciting. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, I think being able to loop in your audience to help write the stories gives the people who take part of it much more. I don't think stake in the game is the right word for it, but when you have a canon that gets thrown out and you feel like you've had something taken away from you. And I feel like this approach with allowing your community to write stories for it and then including it in the canon not only is is going to give them, the writer, a big boost, but it can totally bring in everybody else as well, just to kind of help collaborate and build something together. And I think that's really exciting.
And it feels like it was taken away. It feels like it was taken away from you because it was taken away, right? And now we can create a more equitable system where a community of people who are not driven by profit, rather driven by the expansion of the content in the canon. And what I mean by that is, when you have a business, let's say take a business in the United States, the business exists to make a profit for its owners. And in examples where intellectual property is owned by Disney, its job is to exploit it and to make money from it. What we're talking about here is kind of a different model. It's not to say that, let's say it's a single DAO that is governing, we're still building the decentralized governance behind it. Let's say it's a single DAO. The DAO has no owners, technically. in the traditional sense. It has no shareholders. It has no place to route excess profit, or it doesn't really even have a place to call anything profit at all. It exists solely to continue to support the development, evolution, and expansion of the canon so that it can be enjoyed. And so that individual contributors can profit off their creations. If you write a book, can you commercialize it? If you make a video game, can you commercialize it? The answer is yes. And it's going to be a long road until that is perfectly worked out. You know, connecting blockchain with legal infrastructure is like, I mean, forget about the blockchain trilemma. Just try to do that. You know what I mean? It's like, that's extremely difficult. But it will be amazing to see people be able to step into this world that is pre-populated with a community that already loves to enjoy it and consume it, and create something that can be marketed and exist as a sustainable business. I mean, it is exactly as if you had more access to create a game set in the Star Wars universe and not have to pay 75% of your revenue to the IP holder at Disney, because the DAO is not driven by profit. It is driven by incentivizing more creators. And what better incentive is there for creators than to show them a creator who has made a bunch of money from their creation? It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and now I tuned into a space, I believe it was last week, and I thought I heard something about AI storytelling. Would you be able to expand a little bit more about how that's going to factor into this new chapters that are being written for the metaverse?
Yeah, and this is actually even bigger than that. This is the perfect time to have a token govern a media franchise. And the reason for that is the ability to create media has gotten easier today than it was yesterday, and it will be 100 times easier tomorrow because of the advent of AI tools. I think just last week there was text to video, text to animation that was Pika or Pika, P-I-K-A, I can't remember. But with ChatGPT and Midjourney and DALL-E and Pika and all these tools, I can't draw. I cannot code, but I could create a short animated film if I were to familiarize myself with these tools, and it's just going to get easier. So the ability for these ivory tower IP holders like Disney to enforce their IP, to protect it from the onslaught of community created content, which has been traditionally called fan fiction, it's not going to be possible. So what we're creating is a system that welcomes that from day one. Use AI, because we want contributions to come from anywhere and everywhere. And at the end of the day, the thing that matters is, does the community accept or reject it? And that's done through a DAO. That's done through a token vote. That's done through custodian representation in the way that we have with the planetary syndicates in Alien Worlds today. So at a basic level, AI is going to change media. It's going to change Hollywood. You see the strikes happening with the Screen Actors Guild in Hollywood and the Writers Guild, and they're already trying to head it off and stop these changes from coming. But the cat's out the bag. It's going to happen. So two things. One is we welcome our AI storytelling overlords. At the end of the day, DAOs will reign supreme over what they create anyway. And then the second thing is, we are actually going to release our own large language model that is trained on our lore specifically. So imagine if contributions of the lore are coming in from all over the world, and every day there's new canon, new characters, new places, new events, new histories, new technologies, and you're like, I'm having fun keeping up with it at the rate I can, but if I'm a creator, how do I know that what I'm creating doesn't conflict with something else that just got approved or is being created? And that's where the large lore model comes in, which is our large language model, which will be kind of like Cortana in Halo, where you can consult with them to say, hey, I'm creating this. What do you think about that? Oh, well, this other thing was created that's similar. Maybe you can combine it. Or actually that conflicts with what happened in the history of this planet with this group and this character. It's a librarian powered by AI that anybody can engage with, that can serve as a creative partner, or just to check that what you're making is consistent with the current lore. So we're really excited about that too. And there's a lot of other ideas that we have with how AI can power decentralized media franchises in the metaverse, and lots of sort of theoretical stuff, not anything that we've started to build, but the large lore model is already under development.
I I really appreciate you like really laying it out for me because my mind was exploding with all sorts of different ideas about AIs writing lore for you, going rogue, and all sorts of stuff. So just to help kind of wrap it up, you've got a large language model, which you're dubbing the large lore model, which I love that abbreviation as well, by the way.
Nice, yeah.
It acts as almost like it just helps coordinate the established canon. You've tapped Kevin J. Anderson to help expand, to widen with new races and deepen the current races lore, backstories and stuff. And so all this is going to get rolled in together, and then it's like, hey, here you go, here's this to the community, let's see what you make with it.
Yeah, essentially. And it's not to say, okay, we set it down in the middle of the room and we walk away. I love it too much to do that. And I'm involved with myself and Kevin really worked on this together, and I am involved with all of our Galactic Hubs, our grant program, the grant recipients, just they're creating what they're creating, and I'm not interfering with their creative license. However, I'm just like trying to say, yeah, here's what the original spirit of this particular aspect of the lore was. Do with it what you will. But I'm here to, before we have the large lore model, I'm helping people with that. But yeah, it really kind of is like that, where anybody now can create, and I think not everything that's created will become canon. I think the cream will rise to the top, right? My hope is that over the course of the next year, that we see wonderful stories created with characters that are compelling and deep, and from that they manifest into video games and animation, and we want to facilitate that happening. But those two, if there is a Netflix series about Alien Worlds, an animated Netflix series, which I think Netflix is helping it make this huge comeback with mainstream audiences. Are already, manga and anime are huge, but with mainstream, it's not. But Netflix is helping them do that. I think if that happened, dream come true, right? And that's what I hope happens. But to be clear to everybody that's on the call, we are not currently working with Netflix on a series.
No, yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you. All right, so my next question, I know you've mentioned kind of how this will be shared with community to be voted on and established into canon. So how will that work? I know you mentioned you just got the approval for getting this up and running from the DAOs. How will the community be voting on lore? And do you expect, will this come with any changes to the current gameplay model?
So the Alien Worlds metaverse is not really a single game, right? It's not something you can just download. It is a community you step into. It's a space in your mind. There are tokens, fungible and non-fungible, that usually touch all the things that are going on. But so just, does it change the existing gameplay? Yes, I think it does. I think this starts to be the underpinning for all things in the Alien Worlds metaverse, this foundational lore. And there will be, there currently exists 6 planetary syndicates, DAOs, that each receive a stream of Trillium inflation, and they vote on what they would like to do with those tokens. And they vote on who they would like to represent the token holders of that planet, that syndicate, so that they get to decide what to do with the tokens. None of that changes. We introduce a new point of governance in the ecosystem that is responsible for the canonization process. I think that will be the net new thing. Yeah. Exactly. Does that mean we have a DAO that's exactly the same as the planetary syndicates, where there are custodians, and it's voted on in Trillium? It's this kind of meta lore DAO. We're still building that, working it out. DAOs are very squishy things, and you can design them with a number of different decision paths taken, and there are trade-offs. Is it token voted? Is it custodian token governed? Is it custodian governed? If so, how much, how many, how long, how staking, all this sorts of stuff. So it's still under development, but it will be separate from the existing planetary syndicates.
Awesome. I'm just imagining, like, you mentioned that folks get elected to run and decide what's going to happen with that. I'm wondering if you've got the same person kind of running it for the 6 months doing the story, if they get ousted, if there's wild twists in your story that can be caused just by the change in the head of who's kind of selecting.
Well, and here's the cool thing too, is that in and of itself could become lore. I mean, what's the phrase where it's like, truth is often weirder than fiction, right? And so the political machinations that happen in DAO governance, and I've been in DAOs long enough to tell you that it happens, and they're wild. Those are the makings of a great plot. And so the actual you yourself, you can canonize yourself. Your contribution to canon could simply be a character made in your image. And if a game developer comes along and says, I've got this idea I have an original take on a tower defense, and I need a wrapper around that. I need an IP. And they see Alien Worlds, they see that it's accessible, they see that they can keep the majority of the revenue without sacrificing it to Disney or so forth. And then they make a game, and so they draw from that canon built by the community. And you may find that the character that you created in your own image is now the main character in a video game. And I just think that's fun. I mean, you read that if there is a diehard mega fan of a game and something tragic befalls that person, the game developer honors their memory by creating a skin or some Easter egg NPC in the game that represents that person. And so that specialness is something that can continue here in a more open way. And, I am already thinking about what my character would be, because I spend time in the character creation screen, whether it be Mass Effect, Baldur's Gate, or whatever, Starfield. So that'll be really fun for people to do. So if you can't wrap your head around like, man, I can't make a whole video game. It's like, no, just who are you? What's your story? What's your character? Or do you see something happening with the custodians on a planetary syndicate? You want to write a story about what you observed. You want to put that in the stone or on the blockchain. You can do it.
This is really exciting, Kevin. That wraps up about all the questions I have for you. Let me pause here a moment. We've got time for a couple questions from folks in the audience. If you have any question for Kevin about the collab with Kevin J. Anderson or what's coming next with the new tokenized lore, please go ahead and raise your hand and we'll bring you up on stage.
Yeah, and if we run out of questions, I want to give everybody a pitch on the lore. Like, what is it? What's the story? What's the deal here?
Yeah,
I can do that quickly.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. It's like, while we're waiting for the audience, if you have any final thoughts or anything else you'd like to share, Kevin, before you go, please go ahead. The floor is yours.
Yeah, sure. So if anyone has questions, we'll get to you right after this. But all right. So the challenge for creating this lore was that we already had things in the world that can't be undone. You can't undo Trillium. You can't undo many of the NFTs. You can't undo the planetary syndicates. And why would you want to undo those things? They're powerful. They have equity, brand equity. People like them and have allegiances and care about them. So harness it. And we needed to create something that had Trillium at its center. And what we ended up with was this combination of like cyberpunk, Dune, with a little bit of the boys sprinkled in. And, if you've heard me in other spaces, I think I've said that exact sentence before. But the idea is that Trillium is this incredibly bioreactive substance. And when it's exposed to raw organic material like you or me, it increases the rate of replication and mutation of genetics at a rate that we would previously associate with the works of Darwin happening over hundreds of millions of years. But when it happens so quickly, you just melt. It is catastrophic for whoever's exposed to that. But this one alien race that discovered it on their own planet, and this is found bountifully throughout the universe, but still very rare, and naturally occurring is what I mean. They researched it, they harnessed it, they refined it, and then they applied it to themselves. And they were able to deliver specific genetic augmentations that slow down aging, that eliminated disease, that made them faster, better, stronger. And they realized that genetic code is the universal building block for the way the universe experiences itself. And that this technology, using Trillium as this bioreactive resource, unlocks genetics and the ability of genetic life to be able to control the universe around it. The one kicker is when you use it, it's consumed. You lose it. So long as you have a steady supply of Trillium, you're able to achieve these augmented effects. You're able to be a Trillium augmented individual. And so you can see how automatically this becomes the center of a galactic economy. It is the most important commodity in the entire universe, as it essentially can give you infinite life so long as you can afford a steady supply of Trillium that delivers that effects using this technology. And just this as a basis of a progression system for a video game, it writes itself, leveling up new abilities and things like this. So we really liked this foundation, and this is the majority of what we worked on was just trying to make this fit, make this work. What is the core reason why Trillium is so valuable and at the center of everything? And so from there, we built original alien races. We wrote some storylines, but we're not going to release those, just in case they're ever needed. People building video games, oh, you need a story, here you go. So it's a little bit of Cyberpunk meets Dune. And so when this alien race, when they ran out of Trillium on their own planet, they looked to the stars, and thus began the Great Expansion, where they connected with other sentient life, and then let them in on their wealth of knowledge and everything. And now you have this intergalactic, interspecial society that's centered around Trillium, of political intrigue and tension and war and peace and character stories and interesting technologies, and even more to do with, like, we've got this whole other thing about splicers and the way weapons are manufactured and stuff like that. That's really fun, and we're going to release those. So that's basically the essence of the world. And if you like sci-fi and you're like me, you probably like that. I love it.
Wow, that is really, really exciting and in depth. I got a little goosebumps when you're talking about how Trillium is the way the universe experiences itself, because that's something I've heard through different types of sci-fi and different stories all throughout the time.
Biopunk is an untapped resource that really BioShock was kind of the last attempt at biopunk. Cyberpunk has kind of taken over. So this is more of biology, organics, and genetics, and the effects that with enough Trillium, can you bend space and time itself around you? Can you be that powerful? Maybe. The community will explore it.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to find out as more lore gets released. I'm really excited to read more and more about this. Where can folks who are interested be able to kind of keep track of where the this will be my last question, sorry. Where can they keep track of reading about the canon and reading about the universe?
So right now, we are releasing it sort of piecemeal. We're building a lot of things all in parallel. So follow us on Twitter and sign up for our email list, and we'll be sharing these readily. As we share more and more, we'll start to release those ways that we can organize it, on-chain, off-chain, AI tools, things like that. So it'll become easier over time. However, right now, the stream of lore is pretty much coming from the main Alien Worlds accounts, and then it will start to come from more places as people familiarize themselves and when we release the canonization process. So easy answer: follow us on Twitter and sign up for our email updates, and you'll get it all right in your inbox. And then join our Discord as well.
Perfect, Kevin. Thank you so much for joining today and sharing all the new developments for Alien Worlds. Like I said, I'm looking forward to that, and I'll definitely be making sure that I'm already subscribed to your Twitter and joining up in the Discord to catch up with all the latest features.
Awesome. Thanks so much for having me. I love talking about this stuff. I love sci-fi. I love this idea of tokenized lore and giving the canon back to the community, because I think that the next great franchise will be built by a community and not a corporation. And so that's what we're trying to do.
I'm excited for it. Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. Hold on to your hats because we're going to be bringing up Breakman himself next as I tag in Xander to help for the next part of our space. So if you've been under a rock, Maxi of Maxi Labs has been diligently working behind the scenes to coordinate a massive advent calendar for Wax for the holiday season. So while they couldn't join us today, I do have one of their second command, Mr. Xander, here to help provide additional insight as we interview Breakman about all that went into this endeavor on his end to prepare for the event. But before we start, let's all give a huge round of applause for Maxi and all the hard work they've been putting in over the last few weeks just preparing for the event. This was a seriously massive undertaking, and I'm bummed he can't join us. They can't join us today. They're a little shy. They're traveling, but shout out to Maxi for all the work. And then Xander, before I throw the mic over you, would you give a brief overview about the Wax Holiday Advent Calendar powered by Maxi Labs to all of our listeners here and listening later?
Yep. So, like Tommy said, if you've been sleeping under a rock or hiding on a rock or in a cave and don't know about Maxi, which no one can blame you because sometimes the space becomes so crowded you can't follow everything. So Maxi has been around since, I think, 2021, even earlier. And since he's been trying to develop and help all the communities on Wax. So regarding the Wax calendar, he done it last year as well, where again he worked hard and he got around all the projects that were active at the time. And he did the same thing this year. Again, he went around and make sure that the projects that he contacted are active building. So there's 31 projects that he's been going around reminding them that if they signed up, they have to be on schedule and help the communities and stuff like that. So for the entire month of December, starting from the 1st to the last day, 31st of December, all projects involved had a picked a day. So let's say Maxi started on the 1st of December, and you can follow this on maxilabs.com. On there, you can see the calendar, and it's going to show you like from the first day of December to the last. And once you click the first day, we had Maxi Labs. Second day was Mr. Consumer Break himself. Then the 3rd of December, we had Future Relic. 4th was NFT Draft. And today is Taco. So it explains a bit about each project. Like when you click each day of the month, it explains the project featured, their social media, some information about the project. And then each project decided how they're going to drop their NFTs that they want to contribute to the Advent calendar. So yeah, they either host a giveaway or a free drop. Some people decide to do like on stream and stuff like that. Whatever they picked. So yeah, and I've been working closely with Maxi because he has a project, I have a project, so we've been kicking ideas from one another. So it's all for the community, because at the end of the day, the community is the heart of every project. So we've been working hard to give the community the quality, and at the same time to feel like more like a Wax family rather than I'm joining this project for this, I'm getting out. No, it's more like we're here every day, we're grinding, and we're making friends every day. So yeah, Max is all about that and more. So he's been working non-stop. So yeah, maxilabs.com. You'll see the calendar there, and you can follow there and join his Discord as well.
Very well said. Yeah, Maxie's someone I've been chatting with for quite a while on Wax. They've got a long history. Someone said, I think I read this somewhere, that if you have a question about Wax, ask Maxie. If he doesn't know the answer, he knows where to point you in what direction. So it's definitely a great resource for any community member here. So let me get out of the way. Xander, welcome Consumer Break, and take it away.
Yes, Mr. Consumer Break. Hope you're having an amazing day so far.
Hey, how's it going?
All good. I wanted to pick your brain a bit. So, how did you first hear about the Wax holiday calendar?
Well, firstly, I saw it advertised on Twitter. I think Maxie did a pretty good job of getting the word out there, but he also was contacting people too. I'm one of the really busy guys out there that got there last, but while there were still spots open, I reached out also. I asked if there was some spots left. Yes, there were, and then I got a little more involved from there. I was talking to Maxie for a bit too. I helped him a little bit. He did do a lot of work. It takes a lot of work to organize things like this. You know, I've done my share of it through the conventions and also Consumer Breaks collabs. I've done a lot of collabs. Doing something like this with 31 projects all in 1 month, every single day, is a lot for one person. That he said he did all by himself too. So shouts to Maxie for all of that, and who also was thanking us for helping. Yeah, you mentioned drops. They're free drops. For anyone that's not clear, all of it is completely free. Most of the projects are doing a giveaway, like a bounty block type thing, like the way I did. Others are doing what he's calling a drop, but it's through his own bot, the MaxiLab bot that goes through Discord. So it's not like a typical drop that you're familiar with. It's you sync up your bot inside Discord, and then you're mining inside Discord to get chances at NFTs. It's pretty neat too. He's building tools for different projects and different things using Discord. So very, very well done to Maxie.
Yeah, through Discord is very easy. Like you go in his Discord, there's a channel there, and you do like the $sign and log in, and then it's gonna ask you for your WAM, and after that you're synced. And as soon as you do that, you just do the $sign and mine, and you do that every 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and there's a percentage that NFT might drop. So he's keeping that activity in Discord as well, like that. So yeah, so like you said, and you're no stranger to setting up drops and giveaways and stuff like that. What was different about participating in the holiday event this year?
Well, I'd say using his bot is a new thing. I thought it was neat. Again, I didn't set it up for my project, but just being somebody that entered some of the other ones, like his own, I thought it was a neat thing to use. I'd like to see more of it being used. Having one every day is different. So the way that it's set up, he's got, you go to the website, there's basically doors set up for the calendar, and then each door opens at midnight in your own time. That actually, you had to think about that a little bit, because whenever there's drops happening, especially when it's first come, first serve, people over in the UK are getting it first, and then as the time swings by, the US is getting it later. So it's just all things that he had to like think about that he didn't beforehand. Things that you had to learn. And so with giveaways, it doesn't matter as much because you just enter it and the winners come later. But the whole concept behind a door for every day is also different, and maintaining it for the entire month, and maintaining promotion too for the entire month. Like every day you're promoting it, each new project. It's a whole month-long thing. I think all that is kind of new. I love that it's happening.
Yeah, with the doors, it's like like the box of Christmas chocolate, where each day you can only open the day of the that day, and you eat that chocolate alone, and then you wait for the next day to open the next box to have the chocolate. So you had your day was on the 2nd of December. Can you share the experience, and how did you find the whole process?
Sure. Now, I ran a giveaway, a bounty block giveaway for some exclusive holiday badge NFTs. Shouts to everybody that entered and got one of those. So, as far as running a bounty block, that's nothing new to me. I do those all the time. But I thought I would go the extra mile, I guess, and do something special for that day since it was my day. And also, uh, since I do these on Consumer Break, we do collabs all the time. I always pick projects and stuff. So I decided to make the collab be the Wax Holidays calendar, and I worked with Maxi to do that. I gathered some prizes from various projects, and I have my own bounty block that's a whole month long, all of December, with tons of prizes on it. Over 80 prizes on it. You can see my pinned Twitter post for that. And then on the day of last Saturday, I thought I would do an AMA stream train. So basically, what I do during our conventions is, and we're in the metaverse too. We use the metaverse, but we're on Twitch and we do interview streams, AMAs, and it's all in a row. So basically, this time I did a half hour each, and we had 5 projects come up that I had asked who are all on the calendar. We had first Avalon the game, and then RotaQuest, NFT Draft, Jumbie Art, and ACK Aliens, each with a half hour, and we just bounce from one to the next. And in between, we have mini games with prizes. So I think it went really well to do a little event like that, like a 5-hour event that's like a kind of like a mini NFTopia convention, but just for that 5-hour event. I thought it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, speaking about NFTopia, you want to leak any secrets related to the Advent Day on 27th of December?
Sure, yeah, that would be another Advent Day, is the 27th. So we have some weeks to go, but I'm going to do exactly the same thing then. We're going to do 5 more projects that get in a line of an AMA train. We'll do a 5-hour thing. We'll hang out in the metaverse. We'll do games the whole time. Any projects listening that might want to get in line and be a part of that, and we'll promote it along the way leading up to it. Get with me. And also at the end of it, there's an open floor. So even if you don't get, if you're not ended up being one of the main lineup, you can come over and pitch your project at the end of it as an open floor. And basically, through using the metaverse, you can screen share onto the wall. You can show anything about your project. I'll ask questions along the way. Anybody in the chats can ask stuff, and then we'll play a mini game after that has a few prizes. So it's a great way, especially for new projects. Anybody that's new that hasn't got your name out there that much, this is a great way to, not that there's tons and tons of people watching, but it's a great way to get some Wax community watching and learning about what you have. And also, I like to point out that it's good public speaking experience, y'all. Hone that craft. You new people that don't do voice very much. I think it's very good to get some experience in and try get comfortable speaking out loud in voice on a stream. Your community will really appreciate you for it, and they see that you're a real person, and it just drives their engagement a whole lot more when you do stuff like that.
Yeah, no, been busy with work. Haven't streamed in a while, but yeah, I was playing Goofy on stream because you interact with the community. You show them that you're real, you're not a robot, and that keeps them interactive, because at the end of the day, we're only human. So if we make mistakes, we're here, but at the end of the day, they can see that you're a real person and you're being goofy as anyone else. So yeah, returning to the Maxi one, any favorite moment from that hype train that started?
Favorite moment? Well, I enjoyed every bit of it. I kind of like the half-hour format. It's nice and tight, because I've done plenty of AMAs that go on for an hour, 2 hours. I thought it was a nice way to let them just be nice and tight. It keeps it moving. A favorite moment, though, it would have to be during the Jumbie Art half hour that we had. It flew by because we were showing numerous things, but we were looking into After Effects and how to make spectral art. And Terra Mike down there shouts, he was showing us the Studio 2 in Cam. and that's my favorite. Just seeing their amazing Jumpy Art Studio, and then also having some commenters that were like blown away by the art and saying how they could use the spectral art in their own art, which is like using color changing, which is exactly what the Jumpy wants from these types of things. We're going to do more of stuff like that, but that was definitely my favorite, seeing that people are actually learning from the AMA stream.
Yeah, I haven't heard about Zombie Art before. One of my community members, Juani, he was showing me, and he's quite involved with Zombie Art. And I saw them after. I was like, yeah, they look cool. See, it's like I was saying earlier. You can't keep track of quite everything on Wax because you want to get involved with everything, but at the end of the day, there's only 24 hours in a day. So unless that changes and expands a bit to 30 hours a day or something, you won't be able to keep track of everything. So yeah, so was there anything new you learned from the drop, either from a future drop or live stream event?
Not particularly. Well, I learned that I like this format. Maybe that segues me into my next news. Is I'm going to do this monthly. So we're going to do it December 27th for our Advent Day, but also every month on, this will be my new stream schedule, where instead of having an AMA every couple of weeks with somebody, I'm going to do it once a month, and we're going to have a train of 4, 5, 6 projects that each take turns, and then we all get together all at once and try to get as many people as we can together using the metaverse too, which is even more fun. We're going to do it in January 27th again after that, which will also include an NFTopia school session. So this is something that me and Drawn Company do, which will be a bit more than AMAs. It'll precede them, so we'll still have the AMA train after, but the school session will have like things like marketing tips and swags, like giveaway strategies, drop strategies, anything that can help creators, especially new creators, and then also experienced creators might learn something too, because we'll have a roundtable and we'll share our experiences and things that we learned and that work well for our collections. So it's kind of just a very helpful thing for creators, followed by an AMA train just like this one. So I've learned that I think this is what I prefer to do, and the whole December thing, the whole calendar thing, I think is really great too. I mean, it's very fitting for holidays, so maybe it just stays a December thing, but definitely every single December should have something like this, because it's different, it's fun, it's exciting. Every day you can go and open the door and see what's there. I love how the Wax projects are so open all the time to do giveaways. It's like, that's like I just said, giveaway strategy as part of your collection. It really should be. Not that you're giving away everything or nothing like that, but that there is some giveaways in your strategy as part of your marketing, because it is possible here on Wax. It's definitely affordable for us to do that and get more people gathering around. I think Wax is pretty small compared to other chains. We all need to rally together. We shouldn't see any competitors, really. We should all be working together, collaboration over competition, growing together. That's what all of this is about. When you get everyone together like this for a giveaway event or AMA events, conventions, things like that, it's all about learning, mixing communities, boosting each other up.
Let me butt in and let me really stress the point about the NFTopia schools. These are like classes that are open to everyone, for anyone. You can go in, you can learn more about marketing, like Breakman just said. This is open. All you do is sign up and show up, and you can come away with new ideas, new strategies. Maybe you're not so excited. Maybe you've already know how to do drops. Maybe you've got drops and giveaways on lock, but you don't really know how to market in other aspects. These classes are designed to help bring people up to speed, share knowledge, and then really like collaborate together on how to get better and how to grow your project. Now, I also want to let me pause here for a second. Let me thank Breakman from Consumer Break for joining us and spreading the word about the holiday calendar. I also, Marcia, and I see you. I'm also going to, if you're a collection participating in the Advent, and I've got my list here, so don't try to trick me. If you're participating in the Advent and you'd like to come up, we'll have a small share session after we wrap up here with Breakman. So we'll be bringing you up. So if you'd like to come up and speak about your experience, or even better, maybe share a elevator speech about your project to those who are listening, hang tight, start raising your hands, and we'll be bringing you up. And then I think my question for you, Breakman, before we go into that, what's the best ways for our listeners to support you, support NFTopia, the school, all the games you're building on the blockchain, and all the games you're building on mobile? What's the best way for us to help you?
Thank you very much. And thanks for the extra words on the school there. Let me add a little more. Yeah, basically our sessions are live. Drawn Company does a fantastic job with kicking it off with a presentation. So he loves to do his PowerPoints in a nice, funny, entertaining way, I might add. So he'll do like an hour of that. We run through numerous topics. We've had already 9 school sessions, actually 10 school sessions so far total. They're all on YouTube right now. So even if you missed out on the past ones, because we did these leading up to our past conventions, you can go to the YouTube at NFTopia channel. You can find them, including anyone's in the future. So if you miss any future sessions, that's where they'll end up. And also, that's a lot of hours of content. Drawn Company likes to point out that we're going to have bite-sized clips too. So there's nothing like that yet, but we're going to cut together like the best parts of the things from past sessions and have some more bite-sized content on YouTube too. But if you're able to get there live, that's really the best, because then you can interact with us. That's where you can ask the questions. That's where you can add your own input. And like Tommy just pointed out, it's getting multiple creators together and sharing those ideas. It's not just me and Drawn Company who are limited in our own knowledge. It's just our own experience. But when you get multiple creators, big and small, coming together like that, and sharing their own experience in a roundtable, that's where you really find value and can share. That's again, it's all about bringing people together. You're getting the conversation going. How can you support us? Well, you can follow right here on the Twitter X, Consumer Break, NFTopia, and then our Discords. All the links are on our websites. But I do these giveaways all the time. We have one right now. The pinned Twitter is a giveaway on Bounty Block. Even if you don't play the puzzle games, which you can, it's also free. It's on mobile. You can go to consumerbreak.com and try out my puzzle game. But even without that, we have these bounty blocks all the time, and we just want to get people entering those things and spread the love, and get things shared. So as far as supporting, enter all those different bounty blocks that happen all the time from Consumer Break. Share those things. Keep tabs of when we do events. Hopefully you'll be coming to these AMA streams December 27th, January 27th, and our next big convention, NFTopia 4, is scheduled for May 3rd through 5th. So that's not actually announced yet, but that is when we're planning to have the next big one. So that is some months away, but it gives us more time to really put something nice and big together. And we're a very, very small team that's doing it all volunteer. So trying to do another one as early as January it's not feasible. But in the meantime, like I say, we'll have these monthly AMA trains, school sessions, kind of in the spirit of NFTopia, but without a full convention with everyone gets a booth. We'll still have like this value that through the streams, the AMAs, giveaways.
Breakman, can you share that leaked date again? I know it's maybe not 100% confirmed, but
yeah, sure.
Just to put it in my brain again, where people didn't listen.
May 3rd through the 5th.
May 3rd.
There's no booth sales up or anything like that. So just stay tuned. I think NFTopia School in January, at the end of January, that's when we'll release like official details as well as the booth openings to buy the booths. But of course, there's still time even from then until May. They're not going to be as limited as they were. So like this last convention we had, it was limited. They were sold out in a day, which is crazy, y'all. 20, 30 booths. I'm loving that there's like people want to do it. So we're trying to do it in a way that there won't be a limit. We can accept as many as we are able to, like in the past. We're still working on like the metaverse space. We may use the Frame VR again, using multiple maps instead of like the one map, because there's a resources issue. There's different issues involved with what space we pick, and the number one issue is accessibility. You want to have it to where as many people can enter as they can, including their phones, including slow computers, and that's kind of limited. I know there's different platforms out there, but usually they need gaming machines. We want to have something that's accessible, including phones. Frame VR has worked, but it also was hard for people. So if we can split that out into a bunch of maps, maybe, or if we get another space, that might be better. We'll figure that part out between now and then. But we'll definitely have an awesome convention in May, though, that'll house as many people as that want to be there.
Dude, awesome! I'm excited for all the build up and this new change with the hype trains happening every you said couple. Let me see. You said couple of weeks, monthly or bi-monthly is going to be. I'm excited. So the next hype train will be on the 27th of this month when the NFTopia Advent Calendar Day opens up. Breakman, thank you so much for joining us and giving us kind of an inside look behind all the work and kind of what all these collections came and put in to make the Advent Calendar fun for the whole community.
Thanks very much for having me.
All right. So if you have a collection that's participating in the Advent Calendar, and you want to share a little bit, we'll start with Martian here in a second. I also reached out. I tapped Terra Mike. I don't know if you want to share a little bit about Jumby. I also tapped Dapper Gents, who also was, I believe, another instrumental person who is helping speak or set up for the calendar. If you'd like to come up and share a little bit, you're welcome to come up and share too. So let me go ahead. So just so that we don't end up, we are at time, so we don't end up going too far over our space today. Come on up, share your project, maybe give us a 30-second elevator speech, share the date of when your Advent calendar, and I would love to hear something unique about your game or something unique about your art collection that collectors should be looking out for. So without further ado, let's go ahead. Martian?
Hey everybody, how's everything? Our collection is a more of an ecosystem that we're trying to build with real artwork backing up our token, which is ACK. Also, we building a platform where people can trade with each other their favorite collections on wax without, in a P2P matter, while they can earn also ACK tokens there. Inside our platform, we building utility for our token like mini games. We already released one that is called Flipcoin, where players can have a chance to flip their ACK into double their bet on a 50-50% chance, while they only pay 5 wax to play. Also, we have farms on taco, farms on alcohol, a huge NFT farm on taco right now going on. We have a salsa also where you can stake taco and get ACK. And the big thing, the next thing is our December 25, Christmas Day. Our next drop is dropping on December 20th on Nifty Block, and the pack open will be on December 25, the date of our maxi calendar. I wish everybody can get there, get on our Discord channel. Is Discord/ACK Consortium. We also on YouTube. We do weekly streaming on Twitch with tons and tons of huge giveaway. We promote the projects that we support on our platform. And we come in peace, ACK aliens.
Come in peace. Where did the ACK aliens kind of originate from? Was that did that sprout out of your own mind, or was that part of another community?
Is We have a big community actually on Discord, and we started on Colonize Mars because I'm a big player of Colonize Mars. The number 6 owner, I think right now, probably. So we started with the community there because they allow communities to build up and help each other. So the idea was born there, is because ACK was originally a Colonize Mars official community. That's why our logo was designed by them. But it keeps growing. Like I met some amazing people. We have a developer, blockchain developer called Broccoli. We have designers. It's a huge group of people helping each other on this dream, which is make real artwork. By the way, our next drop has 6 in real life paintings made by me. That if you get the packs comes with 6 NFTs inside. They're all stakeable for ACK, but there's 6 inside the 500 packs that has a golden frame that you can exchange for the real life. Um, Claim it the real life, and we cover up to $100 for delivery. But this is the good part: if you don't want to claim the real life, you can stake that NFT for those will make the most ACK per day. I think it's gonna be 1 ACK per day on the golden frame as long as you hold it. And people can get their money back and then sell the NFT and get for those who want the real artwork. But it's up to it's an ecosystem we're trying to build, so to base everything we do on real artwork and host other artists in the future. Because this is just the first one. Because I paid myself, and I was like, it won't cost much for me to release this collection and get out there.
Thanks, ACK Lands. Viral is the best, my favorite perk of any kind of NFT or collectible. Getting that virtual and real life tie-in when you get that, when you pull a gold frame is very exciting. Thank you so much for coming up and sharing.
Thank you for letting me talk. Thank you.
Of course, yeah. All right. Tara Mike, thank you. Will you share a little bit about Jumby's art and Jumby's projects and Jumby's, collection?
Absolutely. I appreciate it. Thank you for that. We have a lot of fun stuff happening right now that's kind of going on in the physical world as well as on chain. Jumby's technology is showing up. The spectral art frames are showing up at Art Basel right now. Actually, they're being displayed. Today's Wednesday. It starts today, his display. But the particular artist who's releasing on the spectral art frame has a really huge following. He's got a gallery in Key West, like bringing wax to the fine art community and the fine art eyeballs is what's happening right now. And we're super excited. We've got a spectral art frame going out for Nova Pangea. We're putting it up whenever he tells us, gives us the go. They're ready to be mint to print. So I don't know exactly how it's going to work, but they're going to be available on the website. The Nova Pangea logo comes to life in a spectral format, and it's pretty cool.
Awesome. And
so that's the physical stuff. That's the stuff that's happening like in the physical realm, right? And that's why we chose wax from the beginning, is because the technology and the physical aspect come together really well. And so now showcasing the physical technology to really smart, intelligent people who may not have heard of wax are now learning exactly how amazing it is. And it's really cool to see that, like, when people ask the proper questions about technology coming from people who maybe deal with Ethereum a lot, they're coming to look at wax because of the technology that's running behind all of the art, which is also why we have our Tree of Life. Jumby's releasing the Tree of Life is happening right now. It's kind of like a journey through knowledge of the Tree of Life and how everything connects to everything. So we kind of cut the art into like a little puzzle, and every week a new piece of that puzzle will come out and teach you the next branch of the Tree of Life and how it affects your everyday life and things. So we've got that happening right now. In the Maxi Lab calendar, that was really cool. We've got a lot of new people jumping into Discord, hanging out. It's pretty cool. But I definitely appreciate all the love, like especially Consumer Break. Big shout, because we're not on wax to generate tons of money. We're not here to like support. The profit goes back into the community. It's not about that. It's about the art, right? So for Consumer Break to sort of give Jumby a platform to show some color theory and how to just apply these simple techniques to what you're doing every day, That's why Jumbie's here. That's why the art exists here. That's why we chose Wax, is more to showcase art forms and the evolution in the digital age, and then show them the new technology. The canvas hasn't been advanced since Da Vinci. So now we have this new advanced canvas that people are having fun thinking about what they can put on it. And that's what it's really about. So I definitely appreciate the platform to be able to talk about the art form and hopefully, you know, impact people's lives, and they see ways to have fun with it, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Thanks for covering while I choked on my spit.
Yeah, let me interject. Very, very well said, and thank you, Terra Mike. What he's talking about with the technology, basically with the spectral art, is it's like a color changing format of doing art. And whenever he's talking about the physicals, the portals, what they have, you can go at jumbieart.com and see. But they have these like shadow box uh, frames, picture frames, and you put your art in, and then they shine lights on them from the back end to make them change color, even though it's the physical. It looks like a digital animation, but it's physical. It's just it's really beautiful. It is uh, elevating artwork in a whole new way, and the fact that you're using the AMA platform, we've done numerous streams now, but the fact that you're using that instead of showing your project, we've been using it to educate people to add spectral art to their own art, meaning you're using different inside After Effects, you're using different elements to change colors. And I'm even using it in my own. So the holiday badges, the rare and the epics, they had some of that in there. So, and others are also starting to use it, like different kinds of effects that you can do with color changing that adds movement to the images. It's
My
just really
favorite so
great.
far, Soul of the Cat did a cat that is one of my favorites. And if you look in my wallet, I collect color changing cats that Jumbie has done. People in our community know if they get one of the cats, they're like, oh, offer it to Terra Mike, he'll buy it, because I collect the cats. And I got that cat, I was like, oh, this is awesome. That's my favorite.
I was seeing the collab between you guys. This is getting me excited. We are at about time for the day. So we'll be wrapping up our space here in just a few minutes. I do have a couple dates I'd like to share before we break for the week. So Wax is doing a drop for the Advent calendar as well. You can find our drop on December 12th, so keep your eyes peeled. We're dropping a V-Punk, so you can check that out right there. Next Wax Wednesday, which should be December 13th. Yep. We're meeting here again, and we'll be having discussion focused on games. I've invited Mike Rubinelli of our own Tyranno Studios, Marius, the CEO of Danu Games, known for Avalon, and Artur of Nugent Labs, known for Forgerina. We're going to have a roundtable discussion about games on that date. So that's our next Wax Wednesday show. December 20th will be the last day of the Wax DeFi Epic. You can check our blog post, Wax Tokenomics Upgrade Explained. It's published on our Wax Medium account if you want more details on the changes there. And in case you missed it this morning, on our very own Wax Twitter right here, we published our interview with our latest Gold Ambassador, Kristaya. So if you haven't checked it out yet, it was published just this morning. Please go ahead and check it out and learn all about one of our famed ambassadors. Okay. Today was a ton of info. We talked about Alien Worlds. We talked about Advent Calendar. We had guests from ACK Aliens, and thank you so much, Sarah Mike, for joining and sharing about Jumbie. So there's a lot of information this week. I definitely want to thank Kevin Rose for joining the news behind Kevin J. Anderson's collab, and Breakman for coming up as well, for being a guest and sharing behind-the-scene details for their Advent Calendar drop over the weekend.
Can I add a quick another
Yes.
shout out? I mentioned Drawn Company just a bit ago for doing NFTopia School with me. Let's a round of applause for Drawn Company and Danish Crypto, who's down there. Y'all absolutely crushed it at Comic-Con, which last week we talked about that at the space, but we saw the pictures, we saw the videos. If you didn't, go to Drawn Company's Twitter, look at the videos that he was posting. So many amazing things they were doing there with all these projects. They got trading cards, just remarkable looking physical trading cards. They're sharing it to everybody. They're getting the buzz going with Web 2. Just great job. Great job.
Yeah, all of the there was a real treat that week this past weekend, just opening up Twitter and seeing all the excitement and all the pictures and posts and all the cool cards. That was something. It was definitely an enjoyable weekend on Twitter for me. Thanks for shouting that out, Breakman. All right. My next thank you. Let me shout out Mr. Xander. Thank you very much for joining today and co-hosting with me and helping pull this spot off. Do you have any parting words for our listeners today, Xander?
Just to remind everyone to check out like on maxilabs.com, and if you want to find out more about the Alien World, it's alienworlds.io. They have their own blog and the community space there. So yeah, so that's about it for me. Hope I want to thank everyone for joining tonight, and hope to see you on the next one.
Yeah, we all hope to see you next week. Shout out to, again, Terramike and The Martian for joining and sharing about their drops. Shout out to Warrior Lion Gaming. Don't get mad. Don't claim, or what is it, copyright claim my intro for borrowing that this week. We'll be back next week. Like I said, we'll be having our game space. So whether you're tuning in live or listening later tonight, thank you very much, all of you in the audience who are coming to listen and coming to learn. It's a pleasure, and we put these shows on for you. So we hope that we'll be back next week. We hope that you have a fruitful weekend, and we hope that your holidays will be filled with light. We'll see you next time, everybody.